Okay, let's see how you did. So for number one, determine the missing values in the table. So we have liters and milliliters. The information given to you is that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. So that's the standard unit conversion, which will always be given to you. Just like on the chart, we see that right here. So you could do this a couple different ways. Some of you are going to see the missing numbers really quickly. Some of you might have to use either one of these charts to help you find the missing values. So for example, if I want to look at 9 liters and I'm trying to figure out what that is in milliliters, I could use the chart by starting in the middle. Okay, so I have 9 liters. I need to change that to milliliters. So I have to multiply by 10 one time, multiply by 10 again, multiply by 10 again. So that is the same thing as moving the decimal point 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I fill in my gaps with zeros. So you can see that the amount in milliliters is 9,000. Okay, and again, some of you might have seen that right away just based off of patterns you immediately recognized. So we could go the opposite way to see how many liters are equivalent to 4,000 milliliters. So if I have 4,000 milliliters, let me just write that out to the side. So I'm going to start here on my chart. I have to go to liter, so I got to go back to the middle. So that would be the same thing as dividing by 10 one time, dividing by 10 twice, dividing by 10 a total of 3 times, or really simply that means we are moving the decimal point to the left or backwards 3 times. So the zeros can drop away and the amount is 4 liters. Okay, moving on to number 2. Number 2 says, Sadil had 75 centimeters of ribbon for her mom's birthday presents. How many millimeters of ribbon did she have for the presents? Okay, so I'll show you how to solve this both ways. So we can take the 75 centimeters. We were trying to figure out what 75 centimeters, or cm, I should say, is the abbreviation for centimeters. We're trying to figure out what that is in millimeters. So if I'm using the chart, centimeters is here, and I don't have to go very far, just one hop over. So that's the equivalent of multiplying by 10 or moving the decimal point one time. So 75 is a whole number. The decimal point is here. We need to move it once. Add the 0 to fill in the gap. So 75 centimeters is equivalent to 750 millimeters. I will build a table in case you like this strategy better. I'll put centimeters on the left and I'll put millimeters on the right. If you switched it, that's okay too, but your numbers will also be switched. So this is the unit conversion I need. It tells me 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Okay, well, I have 75 centimeters. So let me just start building it, and then we'll jump ahead. So if 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, then 2 centimeters is 20 millimeters. Okay, well, what if I just wanted to jump to 10? 10 centimeters, think about it, that would be the same as 100 millimeters. If you noticed, all I did was add a 0. I added a 0 to the original number I started with. So let's think about it. If I want to jump all the way to 75 now, 75 centimeters. Okay, I have my 75. And then just like the other 3, I just simply add a 0. Okay, so what I did is I multiplied by 10. That was the pattern all the way down. So I could give you any centimeter amount, and you could quickly convert it to millimeters by multiplying by 10. Okay, 75 times 10 equals 750. So I got 750 using both methods. Moving on to number 3. Number 3, with the toy car. It says Safe's toy car went 2 meters without stopping. Myed's toy car went 150 centimeters. Whose car went farther? Okay, so you can't just pay attention to the numbers. Okay, you can't say, well, 150 is bigger than 2, so Myed's car went further. You have to pay attention to the units. The number given to you isn't in the same units, so you have to convert one or the other. You either have to figure out what 2 meters is in centimeters, or you have to figure out what 150 centimeters is in meters, okay? So a couple different ways you could do that. So I'm gonna start using the chart, and I think it'd be easier to take 2 meters and change it to centimeters. So I would start in the middle of the chart, and centimeters is right here. So it's 2 jumps over to the right. So that means I moved the decimal point 2 places over to the right. So that tells me that Safe's car went 2 meters, but saying Safe's car went 200 centimeters is the same thing. So now you can compare 200 centimeters to 150 centimeters. Which one of those is the bigger number? Well, 200 is bigger than 150. So that means Safe's car went farther. So Safe was the answer to this problem. Okay, I will build a table as well. So we're comparing meters and centimeters. So you find that on the chart and start there. So meters and centimeters are my labels. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. Okay, well, 2 meters, and I don't need to keep building the table because that's the number I had in my word problem. So if 1 meter is 100 centimeters, then 2 meters is 200. Okay, the pattern you use all the way down is multiplying by 100. 1 times 100 is 100. 2 times 100 is 200. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 4, which is more, 1,631 meters or 2 kilometers? So let's figure this out. If I'm looking at my chart, I am going to take the 2 kilometers, okay, and I'm going to figure out what that is in meters. You also could have taken 1,631 meters and converted that to kilometers. That would be okay too. I usually convert the bigger unit. That's just my preference. So kilometers down here at the end. I want to change that to meters, which is in the middle. Okay, so I'm moving to the right 1, 2, 3 times. So if I have 2, whole decimal point is here after the whole number, and I move it 3 times, 1, 2, 3. That means I need to add 3 zeros. So that turns into 2,000 meters. So now you are ready to compare them. Is 2,000 meters or 1,631 meters more? Well, 2,000 is the bigger number. So 2,000 meters, which is the same as 2 kilometers, is the bigger amount. So 2 kilometers was the answer for this problem. And moving on to the last one. So this was your 2-step problem. Ishal's PE class is running a relay race. Each team of 4 students runs 2 kilometers. How many total meters does the team run? Okay, so we have a couple of things we have to figure out. So each team of 4 students runs 2 kilometers. So member number 1 runs 2. Member number 2 runs 2 kilometers. The third person has to run 2 kilometers. The fourth person has to run 2 kilometers. So there are 4 people on a team. I'm just drawing this out to help you visualize it. So the first member runs 2 kilometers. So does the second person, so does the third person, so does the fourth person. So what I would have figured out first is how many total kilometers they ran all together. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, and so you got to be careful because that would probably be an answer on an exit ticket or a test, 8 kilometers, okay? But the question doesn't ask for total kilometers, it asks for total meters. So they want you to figure out what 8 kilometers is in meters. So you have to convert that, okay? So I'll show you both ways. We have to go from kilometers to meters. So we take our 8 and we have to figure out how many times to move the decimal point. So 1, 2, 3 times to the right. 1, 2, 3 times. And yep, we have to put the 3 zeros there. So 8 kilometers is equal to 8,000 meters. So if you like the table better, this is what that would have looked like. You are converting meters and kilometers. Doesn't matter which side is which, remember. And the conversion is right here. So I had 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. Okay, well, I have a total of 8 kilometers. Okay, remember, not just a total of 2 like the word problem says. This was a 2-step problem. So you had to figure out 2 things. We have a total of 8. So if I were to keep building 1, 2 kilometers, that would be 2,000. I don't really feel like filling in the table completely all the way to 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So once you figure out the pattern, you can jump ahead. So if 1 is 1,000, 2 is 2,000, 8 is 8,000. Okay, and there you have it. So I got the answer of 8,000 2 different ways. So this team of 4 members ran a total of 8,000 meters altogether. Okay, so this was your review. The exit ticket problems are very similar. So after you upload a picture of your work right here, then go into Google Classroom where you will find your exit tickets. Good luck.